Major shakeup in Georgia politics. Congressman Doug Collins has announced he is officially making a run at the U.S. Senate. Congressman Collins is targeting the seat held by Senator Kelly Loeffler. She was appointed by Governor Kemp last month to replace Senator Johnny Isakson. Joining us is 11 Alive's Jennifer Bellamy, and Congressman Collins has been a forceful supporter of President Trump in the House.
He certainly has. Not only has Collins supported President Trump, he's also been the president's preferred pick for that job. And as you know, Governor Kemp appointed Senator Kelly Loeffler to fill Senator Johnny Isakson's seat, former Senator Isakson. But now the two will face off. And when asked whether a Republican fight could open the seat for a Democrat, Collins says he's not concerned.
Not concerned about that at all. I'm concerned about going to the people of Georgia. I've always run with three reasons in mind. That's Jordan, Copeland, and Cameron. Those are my three kids because they represent the kids and the ideas and the fashions of what we need to have in America. And we just need to have a process that lets people decide.
Collins went on to say the U.S. Senate is the best place for him to benefit Georgia, the country, and President Trump. Right now, he represents Georgia's 9th district in the northeastern part of the state. Now, in response, Kelly Loeffler's team issued this statement. It said Loeffler is a conservative outsider, not a career politician. She remains unapologetically supportive of President Trump and his policies, and she will always work for Georgia families. Collins and Loeffler will face off in November, along with all other candidates who decide to run. If no one gets more than 50% of the vote, the top two will advance to a runoff.